I am going to tell you something very difficult, and your mind will immediately reject it. The mind will call it cowardice. The mind always labels revenge as bravery because the mind's entire existence lives in reaction. Someone hurts you, you hurt them back. Someone insults you, you insult them back. Someone pulls you down, you pull them down. The mind says this is justice. But I say this is not justice. This is merely the gratification of your ego, and the ego can never deliver justice. The ego is blind, deaf, and unconscious. It keeps circling around its own wound like an injured animal licking its sore. It thinks it is healing, but in reality it is spreading poison. Do not take revenge, and do not think that I want to make you weak. I want to make you so strong that you can smile despite the injury. The greatest power in the world is that which does not break from within after being struck, that which does not move from its center even after being insulted. Taking revenge is very easy. It is primitive. It is like an animal. A dog bites you, you bite it back. What is difficult about that? What is difficult is to be human. It is difficult to keep the lamp of consciousness burning when the wind is strong. It is difficult to remain in silence when a storm rises within. I tell you, the one who takes revenge is never free. Because for the sake of revenge, you have to bind yourself to the very person who hurt you. He will sit on your head and you will think you are bringing him down. You give him space inside you. Your days become filled with his thoughts, your nights with dreams of him. Even when you sleep, it is his face. Even when you wake, it is his fire. Have you noticed that when someone insults you, the pain is less about the insult and more about the fact that the insulter has entered inside you? By taking revenge, you let him sink even deeper. I once saw a monk in a Jain monastery. A man came in a great rage and abused the monk in front of the whole assembly. The monk sat calmly as if nothing had happened. The man screamed more, and the monk became even calmer. Finally, the man got tired. As he was leaving, he said, "Are you a stone? Do you not feel pain?" The monk smiled and said, "It hurts, but I don't give it a home. You threw fire. I did not catch it." I still remember that sentence. Fire was thrown but not caught. You catch it. You close your palms around the fire and then cry that it burns. Can you see this? The injury comes from outside, but the burning happens within. The insult comes from outside, but the fall happens within. No one can make you small if you are big from within. No one can lower you if you are high from within. No one can disturb you if you have spread the roots of peace inside yourself. But why do you shake so easily? Why does a storm start inside over such a small thing? Who are you so fragile that a word can break you? Who are you so weak that someone's gaze can wound you? The mind will say, if I don't take revenge, people will think I am weak. This is the fear of the mind. And the fear of the mind is your slavery. Why do you care so much about people's opinions? Are you your own master or a slave to the crowd? The crowd does what it has always done. The crowd gave poison to Buddha. It put Mansoor on the cross. It gave a cup of poison to Mehra. The crowd has always been afraid of the person who is awake within. And the crowd hates most the one who does not react. Because reaction makes you their companion, but non-reaction makes you a separate sky, and they are afraid of the sky. I will tell you a Sufi tale. A Sufi fakir came to a city. The king called him and said, "People say you are very wise. Tell me who is my enemy." The fakir laughed. He said, "Your enemy is your haste, your reaction, your anger, your comparison." The king said, "What nonsense is this? My enemy is the person standing in front of me." The fakir said, "The one in front of you is only an opportunity. He brings out what is hidden inside you. You consider him an enemy, so that you don't have to see the enemy within yourself." The king was startled. Then the fakir asked, "If that man dies, will your anger die?" The king fell silent because he knew no. The anger would remain. It would then come out on someone else. Today on him, tomorrow on the wife, the day after on the child. The anger is yours. The one in front of you is just an excuse. Taking revenge is actually decorating your own anger with the name of justice. And anger can never be decorated, it just gets covered. In revenge, you get a momentary sweetness, like someone mixing sugar and poison. You get the taste, then comes death. The bitterness grows inside. You think you taught him a lesson, but in reality, you made your own mind more violent. You strengthened the habit within yourself of reaction and retribution. Then that same habit will take you everywhere, not just in front of an enemy, but in front of a friend too. You will start taking revenge in love. You will keep accounts in friendship. You will turn marriage into a courtroom. Your eyes will not be able to see love, only crime and fault, and then one day you will get tired. This fire of revenge is very exhausting. You go to sleep at night, but sleep does not come. Your eyes are closed, but scenes are running inside. The same old sentences, the same injuries, the same sins over and over. Even if sleep comes, the dreams are of anger. You wake up in the morning and your body is tired, as if you fought a war all night. The mind will say he did all this. But the truth is you did it. You created the war within. There is a story of an ordinary man. There was a cobbler in a small town. He had a small shop but a vast heart. One day a rich man came, and after getting his shoe fixed, he left without paying. The cobbler called out, "Sir." The man looked back and laughed, saying, "Go sue someone like me for a cobbler's money." The cobbler didn't have money for a lawsuit. People at the shop said, "Teach him a lesson, humiliate him." The cobbler remained silent. In the evening, the same rich man was passing by. By mistake, the heel of his shoe broke, and he fell. His foot was sprained. People laughed. "See, time took revenge." The cobbler smiled and said, "I didn't want to take revenge at all. I was afraid that the poison inside me might spread. What time did, time is the master of." Then the cobbler got up, went to that man, gave him support, and brought him to the shop. He fixed his shoe for free and said, "Forget the money." But remember that falling doesn't only happen on the road. People fall within too. The rich man's eyes filled with tears. For the first time, he realized what true wealth is. You might ask, should we tolerate injustice? No, I say oppose injustice but without anger. Stand against injustice but without hatred. This is a very subtle point. Opposition with anger will happen, but it will make you violent too. Opposition with love will make you aware. With anger, you want to pull the other down. With love, you give them a chance to rise, and you don't pull yourself down either. I'll tell you an incident about Buddha. A man came to Buddha in a great rage. He abused Buddha. Buddha calmly said, "I do not accept your abuses." The man asked, "What do you mean?" Buddha said, "If you give someone a gift and they don't take it, who does the gift belong to?" The man said, "To the giver." Buddha said, "Exactly. I don't take your abuses. They are yours." The man's anger suddenly vanished. He was confused because he had seen for the first time a person who does not react. Then he started crying. He said, "I have distributed abuses my whole life, and people fought with me. Today, for the first time, someone left me alone with my own poison." See, in taking revenge, you get companions, the crowd, people who clap, but that does not increase your consciousness. In silence, in forgiveness, in awareness, you are left alone, and that very loneliness gives you the sky. Ego always wants a crowd. Meditation always wants solitude. And whom would you choose? Let time take it. This does not mean you become passive. It means you do not become the judge within. You do not become the executioner. You do not make a court inside you. Just be a witness. See who gave the injury. See how the mind boils. See how the ego says, "I have to teach a lesson." Just watch, and as you watch, the power of reaction will start falling away from you. This falling is beautiful because that falling is the rising of meditation. Have you ever seen the sea? Throw a stone, waves rise. After a while, the waves calm down on their own. The sea does not take revenge. The sea does not catch your stone and take it home. The sea says, "What came went," but you are not a sea. You are a small pond. A stone falls and you start to rot. You store it in your memory. You look at it every day, and then you say, "I am restless." Would you want your mind to become a sea? Then revenge will become impossible. Because revenge is a disease of the pond mind. In the sea there is no place for it. Everything there is vast. Someone insulted and it was lost. Someone cheated and it became an experience, not a wound. Someone hurt and it made you more aware, not bitter. I'll tell you a story of a king and queen. There was a king who was betrayed by someone. The minister said, "King, hang him. This is justice." The king said, "Hanging is easy. But what about the anger inside me?" The minister fell silent. The king went to the queen. The queen was deep in meditation. The king said, "I want to take revenge." The queen looked into his eyes and said, "If you take revenge, that man will become the center of your life. From today, your breaths will run in his name. Do you want to give him your throne?" The king trembled. The queen said, "If you ought to punish him, do it but through justice, not revenge. And even in justice there is a certain compassion, because justice is not blind." For the first time the king understood revenge does not kill the person, it kills the soul. You must understand this too. When you take revenge, you cut the compassion within you. You kill the child inside you. Then you gradually become hard, and people call hardness strength. No, strength is different. Strength has softness, like bamboo that bends but doesn't break, like a lotus that blooms even in mud. Hardness is stone. If it hits, it breaks. I tell you, do not take revenge, because revenge destroys your meditation. Meditation means you sitting within, calm and awake, while life flows outside. Revenge pulls you outside. It brings you onto the streets, where there is only noise, only crowd, only violence, and one very deep thing. Revenge binds the future to the past. You cannot move forward. You bring old wounds into every new love. You search for old enemies in every new friend. You see a dagger in every smile. Then you say the world is bad. No. There is smoke of revenge in your eyes. If the smoke clears, the world is beautiful again. If the smoke clears, flowers are flowers again. Thorns are thorns. You don't create illusions. Now I ask you, do you really want to take revenge? Or do you just want to be free from your injury? If you want to be free, revenge is the absolute wrong path. It will only make the wound deeper. If you want to be free, there is only one way: awareness. See, accept that it hurt, cry, but do not lift the sword of revenge, because he who lifts the sword eventually cuts himself. And remember, time is very patient. It doesn't take revenge. It creates balance. It doesn't deliver justice. It runs the mathematics of karma. Do not hurry. Haste belongs to the ego. Patience belongs to meditation. Your patience is your dharma. Patience means I will not let my consciousness fall. No matter how much someone provokes, I will not let the lamp within me go out. Can you do this, or will you do what you have always done? Anger, reaction, revenge. I say today, for the first time, do something new. When someone hurts you, in that very moment, look within. Who got hurt? The ego who wants revenge. The ego and you are the witness. You are the sky. Clouds came, thundered, rained, and left. The sky did not change. Your true nature is the sky, but you have become the clouds. Let them take it, and you save yourself. See, revenge is not just a thought, it is an intoxication. Very sweet, very dangerous, and mind is just a name for intoxication. The mind always lives in some kind of intoxication. Sometimes money, sometimes position, sometimes lust, sometimes praise, and when it gets nothing, then revenge. Because revenge also gives a sense of power. Revenge says, I am powerful, I can settle the score for the injury. And the ego wants exactly this illusion of power. But I will tell you the opposite, and that is Osho's truth. Revenge is not strength, it is weakness. Revenge shows that you are a puppet in the hands of another. He pressed your nerve and you started dancing. He threw a word and you caught fire. Is this power? This is slavery. If you are truly powerful, no one can light a fire inside you. The fire must be inside you for it to burn from the outside. The person outside is just a spark. The fuel is within. You will ask, what is the fuel? The fuel is your incompleteness. The fuel is your comparison. The fuel is your wound that you have been carrying since childhood. The fuel is your thirst for people to recognize you, accept you, and respect you. And when someone insults you, they kick your thirst. Then the child within starts crying. To quiet him, you give him the candy of revenge. But the child still doesn't become quiet because the child is quieted by love, not revenge. Revenge is not his milk. Revenge is only the smoke of anger. I have seen thousands of faces. The smile that comes on people's faces after taking revenge is not a smile. It is a distortion. Like someone has smeared ash on the soul. Something dies inside and a victory poster is put up outside. The world sees the poster, I see the corpse within. Have you meditated on what happens to the body when you feel great anger? Hands tremble, breath becomes fast, face turns red, fire in the eyes, violence in speech. These are all signs that you are not conscious. You are in a kind of intoxication, adrenaline, chemicals, hormones. Anger is a biological intoxication, and revenge prolongs that intoxication. Revenge stretches anger for days, weeks, months. One small incident ruins an entire life, and then you say, I was right. The language of right and wrong itself is wrong, because accounts of right and wrong are kept by the mind, and the mind can never be right. The mind is mathematics, and life is poetry. The mind's mathematics says, he did this, now I will do this. But the poetry of life says, what happened, happened. Now wake up. I will tell you a Jain story. A youth came to the master and said, I have been insulted greatly. I want to take revenge. The master said, fine, first pick up this stone. The youth picked up the stone. The master said, "Now put it on your head and walk around like this all day." The youth said, "This is heavy, I will get tired." The master laughed and said, "The insult doesn't feel heavy, the fire of taking revenge doesn't feel heavy. You can put the stone down, but why don't you put down the stone of revenge?" The youth fell silent. "See, revenge is that stone which you yourself pick up, you yourself carry, and you yourself die under. The man who insulted you probably even forgot. But you repeat that thing like a prayer every day. You run the same case in the court inside you every day. The same testimony, the same evidence, the same judgment. Life is moving forward and you are sitting in that same old courtroom. For how long? And I ask you, what do you want to do with your life? Do you really want to live or just settle accounts? The man who settles accounts is never alive. He is just a ledger, an account book who came, who went, who said what, who snatched what. That man cannot know love because there is no account in love. There is madness in love. A beautiful madness love gives, without counting. Revenge counts without giving. Now I tell you another thing from a Sufi fakir. A man came to a fakir and said, "My brother has cheated me, I will ruin him." The fakir said, "What will you get by ruining him?" He said, "Peace." The fakir said, "Okay, have you ever tasted peace?" The man said, "No, but I will get it after revenge." The fakir said, "You are thirsty in the desert, and you are licking sand, thinking you will get water. Revenge is sand, peace is water. Water is within. And understand this, peace does not come from outside. You can wipe out all the enemies in the world, yet the restlessness will remain. Because restlessness is your habit and peace is your awareness. The one who takes revenge cannot wake up. Because to wake up you need silence, and for revenge you need noise. For revenge you need a story who did what. And for meditation the story has to be dropped because the mind is a story and meditation is silence. And why does your mind create so many stories? So that you don't go within. Because going within is a danger, there your ego dies. Revenge keeps the ego alive. Revenge says, "I am." The wife asked, "Where were you?" The husband said, "In the office." The wife said, "Don't lie. There is the scent of perfume on your shirt." The husband got angry. He said, "So what do you think, my character?" The wife also got angry. "Yes, I have a doubt." Now both are fighting. All night long, knives of words, old accusations, old accounts, and in the morning both are tired and broken. Who took revenge? Who won? Both lost. Love lost, sleep lost, health lost, the innocence of the children lost because the children were listening, and only the ego won, that too for a day. The next day, a new fight. I ask you, is this life? This is a slow suicide, slow, respected, social, and society calls it normal. This is the biggest deception. Society teaches you revenge, teaches competition, gives a disease of proving yourself, and you remain a patient of that disease for your whole life. I say get well now. And getting well is very simple. Do not react. But it doesn't seem simple because you haven't practiced. You have practiced reaction since childhood. Mother scolded, you screamed, father stopped you, you became stubborn, a friend snatched something, you snatched it back, someone laughed in school, you teased back. Gradually the mind's pattern was formed tit for tat, and this tit for tat is hell. Buddha said, I won't give long examples, but just the essence. Anger cannot be destroyed by anger. It is destroyed by love. And I say, revenge cannot be destroyed by revenge. It is destroyed by awareness. Now here a very sweet paradox. Only when you do not take revenge are you a winner from within. And when you take revenge, only then are you defeated from within. The world sees the outside result. I see the condition within. Outside you may win, but inside you lose. Outside you may lose, but inside you can win, because the name of victory within is peace, and the name of defeat within is bitterness. And remember, bitterness is the name of that poison which you wanted to feed to others, but ended up drinking yourself. I would tell you a story of a king, very old. A man would come to the king's court every day and make fun of the king. The minister would get furious, the general would get furious. They would say, King, give the order, let's cut off his head. The king remained calm. One day the minister asked, why do you not punish him? People will say the king is weak. The king said, Minister, I am not weak. I am so strong that I don't let the insult touch me. That man tests my ego every day, and every day my ego dies a little. You consider this weakness. I consider it a practice. Then one day that man fell ill. The king himself went to his house, sent a doctor, sent medicine. The man started crying. He said, I insulted you and you saved me. The king said, "Because I am a king, and a king is not the one who cuts others down. A king is the one who cuts down the anger within himself." That man's life changed. See, time did not take revenge. Time made a transformation. And I want this from you, transformation, not revenge. Make the injury an opportunity. The man who gives you an injury can become your teacher if you are awake. Because he is showing what is still left within you: ego, fear, insecurity, comparison. He is giving you a mirror. But you are breaking the mirror so you don't have to see your face. Don't break the mirror. See your face and laugh and change. Now the final thing for this part: do not snatch revenge from time. Let time do its work. Time is a great teacher. It doesn't come to punish anyone. It leaves everything to its fruit. You just reach the fruit with a new peace. And when peace comes, you will be surprised you won't have hatred left for the person who hurt you. You will say, "Thank you. You showed me the wounds inside me." This is a very high state. From there, compassion is born. From there, forgiveness arises. And forgiveness is not a morality. Forgiveness is your freedom. First of all, understand that revenge is not a disease. Revenge is an identity. You have considered yourself injured. You have considered yourself a victim. And in that very moment, you gave your throne to someone else. Then revenge becomes your scripture, your religion. You call it justice. But it is not justice. It is the crying of your ego. The ego cries. But those tears also fall in mathematics. I felt this much pain, now I will give that much. I tell you, the day you identified with the injury, that day you lost the sky within you. Let the injury remain an event. Don't let it become an identity. The event came and went. You got hurt, fine. But I am hurt. This very sentence is poison, because then you start stroking your wound, showing it off, worshipping it. You tell every person, "This happened to me," and you think you are becoming lighter, but in reality you are becoming heavier. You are carrying the statue of your own sorrow on your own shoulders. Do you know people collect sorrow too, like money? Sorrow also becomes a part of the ego. No one has had as much sorrow as I have. And then revenge becomes necessary because the victim needs a criminal to live. If the criminal is not there, the victim's existence starts to shake. Therefore, you hold on to your enemy. You cannot let him go, because if you let him go, your story will fall. And without a story, you are afraid of the void. But meditation is the courage for the void. Meditation says, let the story fall. What is, just is. Now listen, what does revenge actually want? Revenge wants balance. Revenge wants proof of being right. Revenge wants its own victory in the other's defeat. But the balance of life is not in your hands. And trying to catch what is not in your hands is worry, stress, madness. You think if you didn't punish him, then wrong would win in the world. This is also ego, that the world cannot run without you. The world is much bigger than you. Existence is much vaster than you. You are a small bubble and you set out to give direction to the sea. Let time take it, because time is free from your ego. It doesn't punish, it settles accounts, it doesn't get angry with anyone, it just gives the fruit. You cannot give the fruit with anger. With anger, your hand trembles. For justice, a calm hand is needed, a clean eye, and meditation says, first clean the eye, then do something. Otherwise, there will be poison in your every deed. I will tell you a story of Buddha, very direct, very deep. A man came to Buddha and said, my neighbor has grabbed my land. I will destroy him. Buddha said, whom will you destroy? The man said, him. He damaged me. Buddha said, he took your land. Fine. But now he's also taking your sleep. He's taking your smile. He's taking your peace. He's taking your peace, your prayer. Now think he took the land and you are giving everything else. The man fell silent because for the first time he could see that his loss was at two levels, one outside, one within. The neighbor did the outside damage. He was doing the damage within himself. And Buddha said, he who does damage within himself can never fix the damage outside. I say the same thing to you. Because of revenge, you bleed within and you are running outside to apply ointment. First, stop the blood flow within. First, become calm within. Then do whatever has to be done. Then there will be compassion in your deed. There will be love even in your opposition. Now, a very beautiful Jain parable. A disciple came to the master and said, I cannot stop my anger. If I am insulted, I want to take revenge. The master said, whenever anger comes, immediately run outside and chop wood. The disciple asked, will anger go away with this? The master said, no, but you will know what you did when. Anger came, that's all. The disciple went. For many days this happened. Anger came, he ran to chop wood. Gradually, one day anger came and he did not run. He sat down. He saw the birth of anger, the wave of anger, the heat of anger. For the first time, he looked at anger carefully. And as soon as he looked, anger changed, became energy. He laughed. He went to the master and said, "Today anger came, but I didn't follow it. It came, stayed for a while, then went away." The master said, "Exactly, this is meditation. This is victory. Now revenge will begin to end. Understand, revenge exists only as long as you follow anger. Revenge exists only as long as you consider reaction a compulsion. The day you watch and did not react, that day you created a new freedom within yourself. Then no one can bind you. Your enemy is not outside you. Your enemy is your unconsciousness. Now I tell you a Sufi story. Very sweet, very funny, and very shocking. A man came to a fakir and said, "My friend has spoken ill behind my back. I want to teach him a lesson." The fakir said, "Fine, go, bring a bag of chilies from the market." The man brought it. The fakir said, "Now grind it and smear it on your face." The man said, "This will burn." The fakir laughed. "This is exactly what revenge is. You think you will burn him, but your own face is burning." The man cried. He understood that revenge is fire in your own hands. Before you go out to burn others, you yourself burn. Because the fire is in your palm and the palm is yours. Now look at your everyday life. Revenge is not always big. Revenge keeps running in small forms. The husband is angry with the wife, he doesn't answer. This is revenge. The wife is angry, she makes food but doesn't put love into it. This is revenge. A friend called late, you also reply late. This is revenge. Someone cuts your words, you cut theirs. This is revenge. Someone ignores you, you ignore them. This is revenge. This is revenge. These are all small coins of revenge. And with these coins, the shop of life runs. Then, where will love remain? Where will silence remain? Where will meditation remain? Therefore I say, drop revenge, small and big, because revenge becomes a habit, and habit becomes character, and character becomes fate. Then you say, why is this happening to me? Because you yourself chose such a fate. Revenge makes fate dark. Forgiveness makes fate light. But don't misunderstand forgiveness. Forgiveness does not mean you tolerate everything. Forgiveness means you become free from within. You don't let the event become your master. You remain the king within yourself. Let not the enemy enter inside you. Listen to a very ordinary man. There was a farmer. His neighbor would cut a little of his crop every day. The farmer knew. The villager said, "Fight him." The farmer smiled. One day the villager said, "Are you afraid?" The farmer said, "No, I am awake." They said, "Awake? What do you mean?" The farmer said, "I am seeing how poor that man is from within. He finds joy in stealing. He enjoys deceit. His soul is hungry. I am not losing a part of the crop. I am seeing his hunger. And I am not nursing anger within me, because if I nurse anger, I will become just as poor." Then he did something shocking. One night, he himself went to the neighbor's house and said, "I know you take my crop. If you need it, tell me. I will give it to you. Why steal?" The neighbor trembled. For the first time, someone gave him a mirror instead of punishment. He cried. He said, "Forgive me." And that night his life changed. See, this is the revenge of love, the revenge of compassion. No one loses in this. Both gain. Revenge breaks a person. Compassion raises a person. Now, a final secret. And this is the ultimate truth of meditation. When you stop taking revenge, then a pure energy is left within you. That same energy used to flow out in anger. That same energy used to flow out in revenge. Now that energy is free. And when energy is free, it becomes meditation. It becomes silence. It becomes love. That same energy becomes the shine in your eyes, the peace on your face. Then people look at you and ask, "What happened to you? How are you so calm?" And you laugh. You say, "Nothing happened. I just dropped revenge." And remember, this dropping is not a decision, it is an understanding. When you truly understand that revenge is fire, why would you keep it in your hand? No morality is needed to drop fire. Understanding is enough. As soon as understanding comes, the hand opens on its own. The fire falls. So your path is this: whenever you get hurt, stop. Whenever anger rises, watch. Whenever the desire for revenge comes, smile and ask yourself, should I lose the sky within me? And then do nothing, only be a witness. Only watch, and as you watch, a depth will come inside you where the injury will remain on the surface and not go within. Then you will know for the first time that real safety is not outside, but within. Real respect is not given by the crowd, but by your consciousness. Real justice is not delivered by the court, but by existence. And real victory is not in defeating someone else, but in dropping your own ego. That is why I tell you, do not take revenge. Let time take it. And even more importantly, let time take it, but do not lose your awareness. Because he who found awareness found everything, and he who took revenge only chose darkness. Now sit in silence and recognize that place within you where no one can touch you. That is meditation. That is liberation.